Welcome to the Become Sensible podcast, where we discuss practical accounting, finance, and tax for everyday business. I'm your host, Fiona, and I'm here to show you that no matter what your business financial situation is, you can change it. Good morning. Welcome back to the podcast Become Sensible. So I have spent the last decade to have so many business owners make sense of their numbers, not just like file tax on time, but to have clarity and control over their finance. And one of the most life-changing realization that I was seeing in myself and in others is what you believe about money shape how your business operates. And many people would say that the mindset is not very important, but it's absolutely important because belief drive your action and action drive your result. So in this episode, I like to share with you the most common bad money habit that I see is growing in the business and how to break them if you want to build something profitable and sustainable and scalable. So let's dive in. Number one, the first habit is coming into the business. We bring the gift and our talent and our skill or our idea to the markets. And we always have the belief that in the first couple of years, we would not make enough profit or like enough revenue to cover all the expense need for the business and also pay for yourself too. But here's the thing. If you set a goal and you say that's not negotiable to pay yourself a reasonable salary or the salary that help you to be sustainable in the business, then because of that mindset, you flip the coin and you say that, okay, no matter what, I need to get this for me to take care of my family and myself. And when you set that number, that goal, whether that is $5,000 or $10,000 per month, whatever that number is, set this at the goal and it's becoming non-negotiable. One of the things that I watch and observe so many like successful people in the business, the way that they become success is the way that they make the decision upfront before anything that ever happened with them at all or with the business at all. And one of the decisions that they always make upfront is how much of the money that they want to make. Because one of the things in real life, in reality is, and of course, I don't mean that you come into the business to make the money. That is not the purpose of your business at all. But of course, without money, our purpose will die in the long run because there's nothing to fuel that purpose and mission to go forward. So we're not going to be debate on that part. But one of the things is, I think they always make the decision up front, how much is the money, the revenue goal. And when you run the business, there's so many things can happen in your operational team, in your marketing, in your sales, in your delivery team, in your customer service team. Everywhere it can be like very chaotic. But in your mind, you know exactly what is the number that you need to hit every single month. Doesn't mean that you will hit it every single month, but it's become a compass for you to know the areas that you need to aim for. And is it in the storm where it anchors in your business and know how much is paid for yourself, make the decision upfront, and you have that number in your mind. Number two, not knowing the habits is not knowing your numbers. This absolutely happen all the time. So there's so many business owners, they just hire a bookkeeper or an accountant or their finance department. They just prepare all the financial report. And of course, they say like they don't understand finance, which is I totally understand because number is not made for everyone. But the other side of it is if you help with the people who prepare for you financial report, the bookkeeping for you, you are entitled to request them to help you understand the number. It's not only to get the work done, but it's help you to understand the number. What does that mean is how your cost of goods sold is increased, how is your wage and salary increase, how your sales and marketing costs increase, why your account receivable is high, why is your cash balance is low. All of this, it's just simple start with wide and hire the people that actually help you to explain those numbers for you. Number 3 is over rely on the revenue as a success metric. Revenue is very loud and flashy number. We always say, oh, we make $2 million in revenue this year. We grow the revenue is 40%. We make $5 million revenue or whatever the number that seems so flashy, but it may look good on your social media, but the profits itself is what pay the bill. And I have seen business again and again, $1 million per year with what is less take home than a freelancer making $150,000. Of course, we don't mean that we compare people and financial performance based on the profit, but you in the same industry, we always in financial analysis and strategy and review, we always think about benchmarking. What is the benchmarking? What is the reference of industry? What is your peer is doing? And that doesn't mean that you will do exactly what your peer doing, but it's give you a reference point. Because like, hey, my gross profit margins is 60%, for example. But is this 60% is a good number or not good number? That depends on what is your market, your industry. If other people, their gross profit margin is 40%, while yours is 60%, it means you do pretty well compared to the industry. That is what makes us to understand and have the meaning and the story behind the number. Revenue is one of the metrics that you need to watch, but it doesn't mean that it's just all what you look at. And the key is key number, but it's not all what you look at in your financial report at all. The 4 habits is avoid tax planning until it's actually too late. Like many people, like right now or next week, in the next 2 weeks, they will get a tax bill like $43,000 or $50,000 in tax. And where for them to get that right away, the cash to pay for it, especially for many business owners that who scale the business. When you scale the business, you need cash to actually fund all of these scale activity, like hire more people, buy machine and equipment or technologies, or even like a space for you to actually scale that business. And when you just scale the business, your cash not always in the best situation. And I think in one of the episodes, like a couple months ago, I talked about business stage of small business owners. And one of the stage is very hard is in the scaling stage, because your cash inflow and cash outflow, sometimes it doesn't match in the same schedule at all. Sometimes cash inflow is slower than cash outflow. And because of that, when you run out of cash, your business basically stop the farm. And so once you understand that and you know that, okay, with scaling the business, your cash flow is not always in 6 months or a year preserved at all. Once you understand that, you need to think about anything that will get you a big chunk of money coming out. One of them is tax, and tax is due every single year on the same day. There's nothing changed on that part at all. There's no negotiation. There's people, oh, can I delay it? Of course, we always can delay it. We can put on the payment plan. But if you ahead of the game, you decided that I need to be ahead of the game, you need to know exactly a lump sum number, and you prepare for that. Save that money upfront, or maybe save 50% or 70% of that number upfront, and also have a strategy to move your money around that you can help you to save in terms of tax too. There's a ton of different things that you can do, but the last thing that you do is wait for April coming in and you get a tax bill and you feel overwhelmed with that number. So change that habit. Put tax planning as a very important thing. Number 5, operating without cash buffer. And I can say, because I met hundreds of small business over the year, like hundreds every single year. And I totally understand that when you scale the business, your cash is not always at the best point at all. But If you don't have a cash buffer, your business is on a very high risk situation because if you scale so fast and don't have a cash to fuel that scaling, you basically have the risk of put your business under the ground because without cash, how much that you can actually negotiate to or make the thing happen. Of course, you can negotiate with your vendor, with your people, but it's not gonna be like create a sustainable growth at all. In 5 months, in 3 months, in 2 months, that is fine. But in long term, no one can actually operate that way at all. So a buffer protects you in terms of slow cat coming in, unexpected expense, or save you a lot of complexities in the future. And of course, we entrepreneur, one of the things that we always have in entrepreneur is that we very like optimistic people. There's a high percentage of us is very optimistic because without optimistic, we're not going to be coming into the business at all because business is not something predictable or stable. We see the opportunity and we're optimistic that, okay, the business will doing well. And because of that, sometime in terms of finance, it puts us and it puts the business in the risk situation because, okay, it will coming, money will come in next 2 months or that project will be signed, the contract will be rectified in next month or the deal will come in. But what if it's not coming in on time? What if it's coming late? What if there's other factor influence it? And if you always spend the money of the future that you haven't earned it yet, there's nothing like even if the contract is signed, people still can cancel the contract. And so that's just what it means. It means that don't always over optimistic. You need to have a backup plan. What is the worst case scenario? What will you do? The sixth habit is underpricing, especially in your signature offer. I think pricing, especially in like product-based business, is very hard because it has so many components come with it. From if you manufacture like a healthcare products like sample, it's come with a ton of many different chemical research and ingredients, and then to the branding, design, and then all many different parts come with it. And if you don't calculate it very carefully, you would be underpriced. And let I say to you this, if you underprice, if you don't make the profits on one unit sold, if you sold 10 units, your gross profit margin will not change because the direct costs go into any product or service that you deliver it not changed by the volume of how many units or client that you serve. It's only changed in terms of operating expense allocated, which is the fixed cost, like the rent, the G&A people, the marketing people work on the team. That's spread over the number of units or client that you serve. But the direct cost to get that deliver that product from production to material to direct labor or in service space is like the people who directly make the work deliver. If it's that direct cost is too high and if you don't make any profits on one unit that you sold, you're not going to be make profits in 100 units that you sold. So you need to be very careful on that one. And being a margin that support growth, not just survival. And of course, like when we just launch the product or service or we brand new to the markets, we always think that we need to be like, have a reasonable pricing, but sometimes kill the business more than grow it. Number 7, not review financial monthly. And I totally get it. I'm not having any like delusion that say that everyone is good with number at all. And I'm not expect that everyone would understand the financial report the same way that I would or any like other people, professional CFO or like CPA understand at all. But one of the thing is you need to build a habit, at least one per month. You need to sit down with your financial people, your finance team, your accounting team, your CPA, your whoever help you with your finance. need to sit down and ask them, okay, what does all this mean? And what is the strategy or anything that I need to change every single month to help us to achieve the goal that we have? That is absolutely important. And if you don't do that, you lose the game. That you actually, because if you don't change the strategy, what is on your financial report is your actual number. Your strategy and your projection is including with assumption and assumption about the market, assumption about your customer, your client, how it's behave, assumption about the cost, about the economic environment. But if you don't actually look at your actual, you don't know what is the strategy, your strategy, whether it's performed well on the market, whether your pricing strategy, your marketing, your sale, your operational. And if you don't look at it at least one per month, you need to change that habit and put this as one of the first priority for you as the CEO of the company or business owner of the company. Number 8, trying to scale without a system is like very chaotic. If you manage many things inconsistently, you have a partners on the operational team, you have a partners in delivery team, all of these, it will create the problem in like efficiency, in waste, and basically it creates the financial problem for your business. Make sure that you have an automation, you have a scaling system and framework so that it's not depends on only one person or two person that handle the entire thing. And finally, number 9, not asking for help sooner. You don't have to be a number expert, a tax expert, but you just need to have great people in your team and actually have you to make the decision, understand your number, and have you. It's as if a partner in your business that make you to navigate the landscape of the business and strategy and the thing that you need to change to move your business forward. And I have to say, this is my client and say it to me all the time and say the money that they save in terms of tax, in terms of wrong financial decision is pay for itself or is spent that they need to pay for us as professional to help them to do that. It's pay itself. It's 3, 4, 5 times more than the fee that they actually pay for us. And it's actually keep its peace in mind all the time too. I think that is all. That's 9 habit that I see that many business owners that make the mistake on these areas. And I can see that the difference between the business that thrive and those that stays not like one hustle more than the other one. One work 80 hours, the other one work 40 hours. It is the mindset, it is the habit, it is the system that help you to become a very sensible and successful CEO, not just a business owner, as not just a small business owner. And the good news is you always can start it, change the habit one day at a time and change this right today. So if this episode is helpful for you, leave us a comment and check out our accounting advisory service. And you don't have to do this alone. You don't have to figure it out in the hard ways. I really appreciate your time today, and I cannot wait to have you all in the next couple episodes. Thank you and bye-bye.